So for the final sale on the black market, they did indeed sell the Foch 155, and they sold it for 25 million credits, and on the EU server they sold 20,000 units of it. Now, this is a vehicle which you're either going to really want to get, or you're not going to care about in the slightest. Like, it's one of those vehicles where it's just like, it's kind of like, to use like the Marmite sort of comparison, you either absolutely really want it, or you have no interest whatsoever in it and you just don't care. So it's one of those two things. There's nothing in between. It's an interesting situation when it comes to this vehicle, but I personally decided to get one. I sold like six or seven tier 10s in order to be able to afford this thing, because I just really wanted one. But now what I'm going to do is, for the future, I'm going to grind up like 20 million credits, not spend any of it, and then just keep myself above 20 million credits if at all possible. Because if I do that, that means I wouldn't have to sell any more tier 10s if I end up in the situation where they do another black market event. Like, I feel like this is probably not going to be a one-off event. I feel like this is probably going to be something that they bring back. I don't think they would put so much time into like adding this thing on and like and sorting this whole system out to only use it once. I feel like they would need to do this like multiple times at least to make it like worthwhile of them like investing in like making this whole like system. So I feel like it's fairly likely that we're going to end up having future black markets, and plus, like, if you have 20 million credits on your account, that's just handy to have. It means you don't have to worry about anything when it comes to equipment or anything like that, because you just have enough to buy whatever you need pretty much. And I'm just going to effectively treat 20 million as my like lowest amount possible. I'm not going to dip below the 20 million ever. I'm always going to grind credits and just stay above the 20 million mark wherever possible, just to make sure that if any other vehicles which I'm interested in come out, I'll be able to afford them without having to sell a bunch of tier 10s like I did this time. So whether you want this thing or not, it's completely up to you. I really can't give you much information on this thing other than it's a Foch 155. It's got 80 side armor, 180 upper front plate armor. Low front plate's not the greatest, but it's alright, I guess. It has 2 weak points on the top, which are pretty easily penetrable by tier 8s and 9s for the most part from what I recall, and the reload is really long on this gun. Like, I've played one game in this thing so far and it didn't go particularly well because I positioned myself in a position where I thought a bunch of enemy vehicles were going to rush across, and it didn't really work because the enemy team just rushed across before I even got there, which was kind of incredible. Like, I didn't expect them to get to that position so quickly, because this thing here felt like it got to the crossfire point so quickly. Like, I was just thinking like, oh yes, I'm here, I'm ready to get some shots off, and then I saw them get spotted on the other side of me. I was just like, damn, those guys are quick. So yeah, I can't overestimate the speed of this thing just a little bit, even though it is pretty impressive. I mean, 50 kilometers an hour, 17 horsepower per ton ratio, those are by no means bad numbers. So yeah, it's completely up to you whether or not you want to get one of these. If you want to get one of these for collector's reasons, then I would probably recommend it, because, well, it's probably going to be a while before they sell this thing again. And if you want it just for the crew training, I would probably advise against that, because, well, it's a very expensive crew trainer. 25 million credits is not exactly a small amount of credits. So this is either going to be a vehicle you want to actually play, or you want just to have like have it as like a garage trophy. I personally actually really want to learn how to play this thing and see how I can do well in it, because I just feel like that would just be interesting to be like a good Foch 155 player. Like, I want to put a lot of time into this thing and try and like get good at like playing it.